Welcome to the Clinical Pen.
Great to be here.
And hey, right off the bat, don't forget to subscribe to Clinical Pen and definitely visit clinicalpen.com for more.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's jump right in. What if I told you that the most powerful tool for your health wasn't, something you picked up from a prescription pad, but something you put on your plate? I mean, seriously, what if your plate could effectively be your prescription for a healthier life?
Sounds almost too simple sometimes, doesn't it? But the more we understand the incredibly complex ways our bodies work, the more, profound that connection between food and long-term health becomes.
Yeah.
It's moving from just an idea to, core knowledge now.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're discussing today, how nutrition functions as, incredibly powerful preventive medicine.
Right.
Our goal in this conversation is to really explore the maybe surprising ways specific foods can become potent allies, helping us fight off chronic diseases and truly boost our overall well-being.
Yeah, we've been looking into some really fascinating stuff on just how deeply food influences our health, haven't we?
We have.
That classic phrase, you are what you eat, gets tossed around a lot casually, But it's far more literal, more impactful than most people probably realize.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about providing energy for your day. It's fundamentally about building the very cells, tissues, systems that either resist illness or, don't.
Right.
We're talking about preventing those chronic illnesses that are just incredibly widespread now, things like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, obesity.
The big ones. It's shifting our perspective, isn't it? From just reacting to sickness to proactively building health.
Exactly.
Food isn't just passive fuel, it's an active ingredient in prevention.
Precisely. And when we talk about using nutrition strategically, we're highlighting how specific dietary choices can have these targeted biological effects.
Like what specifically?
Well, they can actively dial down the chronic inflammation that kind of underlies so many diseases.
Yeah.
They can supercharge your immune system's ability to defend itself.
Okay.
And in some pretty remarkable instances, even help your body repair itself and potentially, reverse early signs of disease before they really take hold.
That ability to potentially reverse or prevent, wow, that's really where the power lies, isn't it?
It really is.
So why is nutrition so incredibly crucial to preventive health, specifically now in the 21st century? What's changed?
Well, just look at the global health landscape. We've seen this dramatic rise in chronic diseases.
Yeah.
And while, sure, multiple factors are involved, there's an undeniable link to our modern lifestyle.
And diet's a huge part of that.
A massive part of that picture, yeah. We've kind of moved away from whole, unprocessed foods and towards diets just dominated by ultra-processed items, refined sugars, unhealthy fats, artificial ingredients, all that stuff.
And these aren't just empty calories, they're actually doing harm, right?
Precisely. These diets are pro-inflammatory. They fuel oxidative stress.
Oxidative stress, like rust on our cells.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah. Like rust building up on the machinery of your cells. And chronic inflammation is like this low-grade fire constantly burning inside you. Both are major drivers, quietly contributing to chronic conditions over years and years.
So the bad news is our modern diet is kind of making us sicker. But the incredibly empowering flip side is that intentionally choosing different foods can actively make us healthier.
That's the key takeaway. Exactly. While these diseases are complex, the evidence is just overwhelming. A significant portion are preventable, or at least highly manageable, through focusing on nutrition.
So it gives us some control back.
It does. By consciously choosing nutrient-dense foods, you're not just avoiding harm, you're actively supplying your body with the precise molecular tools it needs to function optimally, to repair damage, and to defend against threats.
Okay, let's talk about those tools then. We've been looking at some examples of foods that really stand out for their protective power, sometimes called superfoods, though.
Yeah, though it's really about their concentration of beneficial compounds, isn't it?
Exactly. Let's start with maybe the most obvious category, leafy greens. Spinach, kale, collards, that kind of thing.
Absolutely essential. These aren't just side dishes, they're heavy hitters. They target major chronic conditions like heart disease, various cancers, and type 2 diabetes.
Okay, but what makes them so potent? It can't just be, oh, they're green and healthy.
No. It's like a symphony of nutrients working together. They're incredibly high in fiber, which is vital for digestion and blood sugar control.
Right.
They contain folate, crucial for cell function, and powerful antioxidants like lutein, which is particularly good for eye health, but works body-wide.
Yeah.
Plus, packed with vitamins A, C, and K.
Wow.
Collectively, these compounds work to lower that systemic inflammation we mentioned and help regulate blood pressure. Think of them as fundamental building blocks for disease resistance.
So much packed into those leaves. Okay, from green to vibrant color. How about berries? Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Sounds like delicious medicine.
Nature's candy, definitely. And with serious health benefits, they're particularly effective against certain cancers, cognitive decline, and diabetes.
What's their superpower then? What makes them special?
Well, their intense color is actually a signal. It signals their richness in specific antioxidants, most famously anthocyanins.
Anthocyanins.
These are fantastic at neutralizing free radicals, those unstable molecules causing the cellular rust, reducing that oxidative stress. They also seem to improve insulin sensitivity, which makes them great allies in preventing or managing diabetes.
And vitamin C too, I assume.
Oh yeah, vitamin C adds another layer of antioxidant protection. Big time.
Okay, antioxidants neutralizing stress, helping with blood sugar. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's move to something from the sea. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines.
Oh yes, crucial components of a protective diet, especially when you're looking at heart disease and those autoimmune or inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis.
And this is where the omega-3s come in, right? Everyone talks about omega-3s.
Exactly. They are outstanding sources of those long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These are powerful anti-inflammatory agents in the body.
How do they help the heart specifically?
Well, they help lower triglycerides, which is a type of fat linked to heart issues. They can slightly lower blood pressure and just generally improve overall cardiovascular function. They're often called essential fats because our bodies can't actually make them. We have to get them from our diet.
So healthy fats are definitely on the good list. What about grains? There's a lot of confusion around grains these days, isn't there?
There is. The key is to focus on whole grains, things like oats, brown rice, quinoa, barley. These are fundamentally different from refined grains.
Okay.
And they're vital for tackling type 2 diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease.
Is their magic mostly about the fiber content, or is there more to it?
Fiber is a massive piece of it for sure. Whole grains are high in both soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber helps slow digestion and regulate blood sugar, preventing those harmful spikes. Insoluble fiber adds bulk, promotes regular digestion, and maybe most importantly now, it feeds those beneficial gut bacteria.
Ah, the microbiome connection.
Exactly. A healthy gut microbiome, which thrives on this fiber, is increasingly linked to better immunity, improved mood, and reduced risk of chronic diseases. So it's the fiber and all the nutrients in the bran and germ layers that get stripped away in refined grains.
So it's about feeding us and our beneficial microbes. Interesting. What about nuts and seeds? Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds? Small but mighty.
Fantastic additions,
Yeah.
definitely mighty. Particularly effective against high cholesterol and metabolic syndrome, that cluster of conditions increasing heart disease risk.
What makes them work so well?
They provide this winning combination of healthy monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, fiber, and plant-based protein. Walnuts are notable for their specific type of omega-3s, ALA,
Okay.
and flax seeds contain lignans. These are plant compounds that have shown some really promising research in contributing to cancer prevention, particularly hormone-related cancers.
Oh.
They're just nutrient-dense powerhouses, really.
Cancer-fighting compounds in tiny seeds. Pretty remarkable. Okay, back to vegetables, specifically the cruciferous group. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. You either love them or hate them sometimes.
Huh, true. But you should learn to love them. They are consistently linked to a reduced risk of specific cancers, including breast, prostate, and colon cancer.
Why are they singled out for their anti-cancer effects? What's special there?
They contain these unique sulfur-containing compounds called glucosinolates.
Glucosinolates, got it.
When you chop or chew these vegetables, enzymes convert those glucosinolates into biologically active compounds like sulforaphane.
Sulforaphane, okay.
And sulforaphane is a potent stimulator of your body's natural detoxification enzymes. It can help inhibit the growth of cancer cells and even promote their self-destruction, something called apoptosis.
So they actively help your body clean house and fight abnormal cells? That's impressive.
Very impressive.
And a spice that's gotten a lot of hype lately, turmeric. Bright yellow.
Ugh. Well, deserved hype, I'd say. Turmeric, particularly its main active compound, curcumin, is a star player for tackling inflammatory disorders like arthritis, and it's shown potential protective effects against neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's, too.
What gives curcumin its power? Is it just the anti-inflammatory aspect?
It's incredibly strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. It works through multiple pathways in the body to block inflammatory molecules and protect cells from damage. It's a potent compound.
Right.
Although absorption can be a bit tricky, which is why you often hear the recommendation to consume it with black pepper. Pepper contains piperine, which really boosts its bioavailability.
That little tip about pepper is a great example of how these things work synergistically. Smart.
Exactly.
Okay. Legumes, lentils, chickpeas, beans, the musical fruit.
Huh. Well, maybe. But they are absolutely foundational for heart health, managing diabetes, and promoting a healthy weight.
Are they similar to whole grains in their benefits then? Or
Yeah.
different?
There's definitely overlap, yes. They're exceptionally high in both plant-based protein and fiber,
Okay.
which makes them incredibly satiating, so they help with weight management and excellent for stabilizing blood sugar levels. No big spikes.
And cholesterol.
Yes, their soluble fiber is particularly good at binding to cholesterol in the digestive tract and helping your body get rid of it, which lowers LDL, the bad cholesterol.
High protein, high fiber, blood sugar stable, cholesterol lowered. That's a powerful combination.
It really is.
And what about everyday staples like garlic and onions? Stuff most people cook with anyway.
Don't just walk past these in the produce aisle. They are simple, flavorful ingredients with significant benefits. Cardiovascular health, fighting infections, and even showing anti-cancer potential.
That distinctive smell that comes from.
That's the allicin and other organosulfur compounds. They get released when you crush or chop them. These compounds are demonstrated anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial effects, helping fight bacteria and viruses, and effects that support cardiovascular health. That includes potentially helping to lower blood pressure and cholesterol.
So simple things can make a difference.
They're a prime example of how everyday foods can contribute mightily to your health. Just adding flavor adds health.
Everyday ingredients packing a punch. And finally, a popular beverage. Green tea.
Ah, yes, green tea. It's linked to benefits ranging from enhanced metabolism and weight management to reduced risk of certain cancers and cardiovascular disease.
Beyond just being hydrating, what's the secret ingredient there?
It's incredibly rich in a type of antioxidant called catechins, particularly one called epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG for short.
EGCG. Oh.
EGCG is a potent protector against cellular damage caused by free radicals and inflammation. It also appears to influence metabolic pathways and support healthy blood vessel function. A really powerful compound in a simple cup of tea.
So looking at this whole impressive list and thinking about how they work, it's clear there are these recurring biological themes underpinning their benefits, isn't there?
Absolutely. We've touched on some key mechanisms throughout. Antioxidants, as we discussed, are crucial for neutralizing those free radicals and combating oxidative stress. That's fundamental to aging and disease.
Right, the cellular rust. And inflammation seemed to come up again and again.
Chronic inflammation is just a major culprit in so many conditions, from heart disease to Alzheimer's. Many of these foods contain compounds that modulate the immune response, basically calming down that persistent low-grade inflammation in the body.
So they're like sending anti-inflammatory signal.
Pretty much, yeah. Sending those signals at a cellular level.
And those unique plant compounds you mentioned, phytochemicals.
Yes, phytochemicals. These are fascinating. They're non-nutrient plant compounds, so not vitamins or minerals, but the chemicals plants produce to protect themselves from environmental threats, like pests or UV rays.
Like the glucosinolates in broccoli or anthocyanins in berries?
Exactly like those. And when we eat them, they seem to exert similar protective effects in our bodies. They interact with our genes, our enzymes, our signaling pathways in really beneficial ways. It's like a whole pharmacy within plants.
A plant pharmacy. I like that. And the last mechanism you highlighted was gut health. That seems huge right now.
It's rapidly becoming one of the most exciting areas of research, honestly. The fiber and other non-digestible compounds in these plant foods serve as prebiotics.
Food for the good bugs?
Essentially, yes. Food for the trillions of beneficial bacteria living in our gut, our microbiome. A diverse and healthy gut microbiome impacts, well, almost everything. Nutrient absorption, immune function, even mental health.
Wow.
So by feeding these good bacteria with foods like whole grains, legumes, and fibrous vegetables, you're supporting a crucial internal ecosystem well-being and disease prevention.
It's amazing how interconnected it all is. So, okay, with all this powerful knowledge about how food works, how do we actually translate this into simple, actionable steps for everyday life? Because it can feel a bit overwhelming, right?
It definitely can seem that way, but it shouldn't feel like you need an overnight overhaul. The The practical advice is surprisingly straightforward once you grasp the principles.
Yeah.
It's really about consistent, conscious choices adding up.
Like making those carbohydrate swaps we talked about.
Exactly. Start by consciously choosing whole grains over refined ones more often than not. Just that one swap makes a difference.
Okay.
Make vegetables and fruits the stars of your plate, not just a tiny garnish on the side. Aim for color and variety with every meal. Eat the rainbow, as they say, to get a wide spectrum of those beneficial phytochemicals and nutrients.
And leaning into flavor with beneficial ingredients, like the garlic and turmeric.
Absolutely. Cook with those power-packed herbs and spices we talked about, garlic, onions, turmeric, ginger. They add incredible flavor while boosting your health. Win-win. And at the same time, focus on limiting or maybe eliminating the foods that actively work against you. The ultra-processed snacks, the sugary drinks, excessive amounts of unhealthy fats.
Small changes adding up.
Yeah. Drink plenty of water. Maybe swap out a sugary drink or two for green tea. Simple substitutions.
These tips really bring it back to the individual listener, don't they? This isn't just abstract science. It's directly applicable knowledge. It empowers you to make daily choices that add up significantly over time. Every single meal or snack is an opportunity.
Precisely. It's about building habits, not seeking some miracle quick fix. Consistency is key.
So to wrap this up, the core message seems crystal clear and actually incredibly empowering. Prevention truly does begin on your plate.
I think so. By consciously prioritizing whole, nutrient-rich foods, embracing those leafy greens, vibrant berries, fatty fish, fibrous legumes and whole grains, potent spices, aromatic vegetables, you are actively taking steps to build resilience. You're significantly reducing your risk of developing those widespread chronic diseases we see today, and fundamentally enhancing your overall health and well-being for the long haul.
It really shifts the perception of food, doesn't it? From just mere sustenance or, occasional indulgence to something much more profound and purposeful.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for people to consider. What if you started to truly think of food, not just as something to satisfy hunger, but as your daily, delicious dose of preventive medicine?
A powerful and actually enjoyable way to safeguard your health for years to come. I love that.
Indeed.
Well, thank you for exploring all these insights with me today. Really fascinating stuff.
It was a pleasure. Really important topic.
It is. And to everyone listening, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Please do.
And be sure to visit clinicalpen.com for more information and resources.